That's right, kids. Oregon residents can now legally change their gender to non-binary thanks to a recent court ruling. As you know, non-binary refers to individuals who identify with any gender identity, and now Oregon is the first in the US to recognise it. I had this article sent to me by quite a few of you, so let's take a look through it. It's a brand new day for non-binary, genderqueer, transgender and gender non-conforming people all over the nation. No, it's not. It's not a brand new day for transgender people at all. We're just as baffled by this non-binary nonsense as our non-transgender counterparts. In a historic move sure to challenge federal policy, an Oregon Circuit Court ruled on Friday that a resident could legally change their gender to non-binary. The Daily Dot spoke in an exclusive interview with Jamie Shoup, the Portland, Oregon resident and Southern Maryland native who requested the gender identity change. Male and female are the traditional categories, but they fail to properly categorize people like me, so I challenged that. Shoup's petition for sex change, as the court calls it, was filed on April 27th, with the help of Portland attorney Lake James Perigee, and armed with 2 letters from primary care doctors stating that Shoup's gender should be classified as non-binary. The case was made. So what's happened here is that Oregon law has allowed for people to petition a court for a gender change over the years, but didn't specify that this gender change had to be either male or female, because common sense never considered that there was any other option. Shoup, who prefers not to use gender pronouns altogether, using the honorific MX. I don't know if that would be pronounced mix Shoup. Anyway, he is an army vet who began a gender transition in 2013 at the age of 49. Assigned a male gender at birth, Shoup initially petitioned to change their gender from male to female, and then from female to non-binary. Do you think that this might be because they didn't pass very well as female? Maybe they felt shit after transitioning to female because they didn't pull it off very well, and now they're neither male or female. As far as legal experts are aware, the Oregon court decision is the first time a court in the US has ruled that non-binary is a legal gender. The Daily Dot spoke with attorneys at the Transgender Law Center who noted the historic nature of the case. As far as we know, this may be the first ruling of its kind in the US, said Transgender Law Center's legal director Iona Turner in an email to the Daily Dot. This is an important step toward ensuring that non-binary members of our community have access to identity documents that reflect who they are, just like everyone else. Mick Kincaid, a staff attorney at New York's Sylvia Rivera Law Project, called the Oregon's court decision wonderful news. To my knowledge, many cities and a few states have options where an ID card does not need to declare a gender, Kincaid told the Daily Dot in an email. But I have never heard of a system where someone's non-binary gender is actually affirmed on the card itself. This is an interesting point, actually. If they really see themselves as neither male or female, i.e. genderless, then surely having gender mentioned on the card wouldn't matter. I mean, if you don't have a gender, then why fight to have non-binary put on your card when you can simply have no gender because you're genderless? Curious. Sasha Alexander, SRLP's membership director, also celebrated the news. Many trans, gender non-conforming and intersex people identify as non-binary or along a gender-fluid spectrum, but due to the nature of ID documents and discrimination, many of us have no way to see our gender identity reflected, so this is amazing news. No, most trans people see themselves as male or female, the opposite of what they were born as. That's what transition is. They change from one gender to the other. There is no spectrum in this scenario. At the moment, it's unclear how the court's decision will play out in terms of identity documents. Shoup told the Daily Dot that their first goal is to tackle the Oregon DMV. But even if the state agrees to issue non-binary driver's licenses, federal identity documents currently only allow for male or female gender markers, probably because there's evidence for male and female and no evidence for non-binary, but whatever. We're not exactly going with sense here, are we? In 2014, over 64,000 people signed a petition asking the White House to legally recognise non-binary genders. But the petition was without success. However, according to the website nonbinary.org, not that that would be biased at all, other countries already federally recognise genders other than male or female, including Australia, Denmark, Nepal and New Zealand. Well, Here in the UK, we actually tried to petition for non-binary genders and, well, it didn't do very well. Shoup described being literally tearful on Friday when the court issued the judgment. This is incredibly humbling to be the first person to accomplish this. I hope the impact will be that it opened the legal doorway for all that choose to do so to follow me. We don't deserve to be classified improperly against our will. This whole argument is ridiculous. These non-binary folk want to redefine what it means to be human, that is male or female, and they won't stop at getting special markers on their cards. Do you think that having non-binary on their card is going to have random people in the day-to-day referring to them as mix or MX or whatever the fuck it is and using gender-neutral pronouns? I've already spoken about this in a previous video about how this is being introduced into schools with children as young as 13 being given long lists of gender to choose from, including fucking trigender. Is this what you want? America, you are literally in trillions of dollars of debt. You have people walking around who claim to have never heard of World War II, and those who have heard of it not knowing when it was and who fought in it. You have a growing number of young people, that is to say, your future, being perfectly okay with censoring freedom of speech because feels over reals. And now you have the first of what I can only assume is many other states allowing people to say that they're neither male or female, or they're both male and female. Is this where you want to go? It is time to draw the line on this bullshit. Identify as whatever you want, people, but stop trying to change the law to accommodate something that has no evidence to back it up. Most people, including myself, honestly don't give a damn if you want to call yourself non-binary. In fact, if you're a pleasant enough person, I'll respect your pronouns when in your company. But honestly, stop trying to tell people that this is an actual thing. You've got no evidence for it, and whenever people do say, well, what does a non-binary brain look like? You say, oh, but it's my identity. Be your identity all you want, but stop trying to make legal changes. This is unacceptable behaviour. Grow up.